I'm Adrienne Daly, lifestyle nutrition coach, personal trainer, and figure competitor. And I did a video on protein shakes with Paleo Pro, which is what I use, and mixing that with coffee as a great pre-workout or a pick-me-up in the middle of the day. And I got a lot of feedback from people that thought that was a great idea, but they can't drink coffee because they have issues with acid reflux or heartburn, and or they just found coffee just too acidic and not pleasurable. And I said, oh my gosh, I know the answer to this problem, and that is cold brewing your coffee. And I use the Toddy system. It's really inexpensive. You can get it at your supermarket or online, and it's about $30. Anyway, it's a very simple system, and cold brewing is great because it is less acidic by about 65%. And what I love about it is it's got a lot more caffeine in it, or actually you get all the caffeine from the bean, cold brewing it at room temperature, because when you brew or roast or make your coffee with water, it takes away most of the caffeine. Well, this all stays in the concentrate. So if you're using it as a pre-workout, you get all revved up and ready to lift your weights, or if you're doing it in the middle of the day, you need a pick-me-up, you're going to get all that caffeine that you expect over reaching for a Coke, which has very little caffeine and so much sugar. So anyway, cold brewing coffee is fantastic. And of course, I love Katz coffee, and I'm using, today I'm using their early bird coffee, and I love this coffee by Katz. It's a local roaster here in Houston, and I love it for so many reasons, but this one specifically is it supports our Houston Arboretum, and the roasters it's a direct trade coffee, and it's shade grown. So remember that word, shade grown, because that's super important, because that means that the ecosystem has not been damaged and the wildlife has a place to live, and the soil has not been leveled and trees have not been removed, so the habitat for birds and other wildlife stays intact, which is super important. And that's a big part of being paleo. It's not just eating all the bacon that you want, it's caring about where your food comes from, and working with people and eating from places, restaurants and local establishments and farmers markets that support our fabulous community here in Houston and all over the nation and the world. Look for words like direct trade and organic and fair trade. All those are super important, and you'll spend a little bit more, but you're going to be getting quality coffee beans. And another great reason to cold brew is you're going to taste all those exotic flavors that you're paying for when you're spending upwards of $10 a pound for the organic coffee. So that's pretty cool. And let's see, so the way that you can do this, and what else is great about this is you can buy these single serves in the grocery store and spend upwards of like $3 and $4, but they'll have add-ins. They'll have put some sugar in there, they'll have put some milk in there, they'll have done natural flavoring. So do yourself one better, make your own. It takes 24 hours for this to brew right on your countertop. Your house will smell terrific, and you have pure, clean, homemade cold brew coffee. The way you can prepare it is take ice, okay, and just pour it over ice, and you've got a great pick-me-up in the middle of the day, and it's cold and it's refreshing. You can, and it is a concentrate, so you can fill it up with the coffee, or you can pour it halfway and fill it up with a non-dairy milk. I prefer almond milk or cashew milk. no bean milks and no dairy, but this keeps it nice and clean. And the unsweet is great because, again, the cold brew is going to have a natural sweetness. And that's another thing about the shade grown coffee beans is they grow slower. It doesn't need direct sun. So in the shade, these beans mature at a slower rate, which means you're going to taste all of those chocolatey, nutty, fruity, sweet notes that you're supposed to be, just like a fine wine. Fabulous. So anyway, so right over ice, perfect. With milk, perfect. You can get rid of the ice and pour it halfway into your coffee cup and then reconstitute it. Come along with your hot water and pour it in and kind of play with it and see, you know, what tastes good to you. And then you can enjoy your cold brew heated and still get that smooth richness without the acid in the morning. You can, of course, add it to your protein. Of course, I like Paleo Pro. Their chocolate is fantastic. Mix that with coffee, epic. So your protein of choice. And what else can you do with this? Oh, and it's just a lot more inexpensive. You get about 7 cups, sits in your fridge for up to 2 weeks. Not that any coffee is going to sit around for 2 weeks. Yeah, it's less expensive. I guess that's it. Oh, and you can add your own sweeteners, and that's another great thing about making it homemade and make it part of your meal prep. I have these great little bottles, these little swell bottles, and I've got my cold brew in here, the last of my other carafe. And so this is ready to go. Throw it in my bag with my Paleo Pro that I've already got dosed out, and my ice cold water. Just have that all in my cold bag. And I've got to pick me up in the middle of the day, or I've got a meal replacement in the middle of the day when I'm rushing around from client to client. So I hope that helps. The cold brew, a great alternative to regular coffee. And they also say that you shouldn't have, that a big part of acid reflux and heartburn is being over caffeinated. So sometimes just having, less, 1 to 2 cups of coffee, cutting it off there, and enjoying wholesome, low acidic beans like shade grown Katz coffee will help with your problems as well. So I hope that helps. Enjoy. If I can answer any more questions for you, you can comment below or contact me at adrienne@adriennedaily.com. Until then, drink good coffee and support your local community. Thanks.